guys, hope you all are doing fine and staying safe in your houses. Today I am going to share with you one jumbo IELTS speaking answer that will answer 11 latest May to August 2021 cue card from Makkar. All 11 questions are related to people. This answer will not only help you to get 7 plus band, but it also show your command over the language, and also it will save your time in preparing various questions which has almost same. Everything related to people is about characteristics. Okay, whenever you get a question, I will be sharing the 11 cue cards that will help, that can be answered with this answer. Those 11 questions mostly talk about people's characteristic and where you met and why you like them. So this answer, if you adjust appropriately, can be answered for all of them. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, do subscribe it and click on that bell icon so that you are notified with all the latest videos that we upload to help you excel your IELTS and reach your desired destination or country where you want to go. This cue card is a must to learn because this will save you time and also assure you of your bands. So let's begin. Before starting, we should know what are the 11 cue cards that will be answered with this answer. Okay, these all are related to people. As you can see, describe an intelligent or polite person, a famous person, an old person or old friend, or who is very open, or someone whom you encouraged, or person who wears unusual clothes, favorite singer. So all these cue cards have been answered in the answer that I'm going to show you. As we know that there is no task achievement mark in our IELTS speaking. It is completely based on your fluency, your cohesion, your grammar accuracy, and the way you pronounce the words. So do not worry about the task achievement. For example, if you get a question about describe a famous person, and in famous person you are talking about the intelligence or the polite one or open person, then it's absolutely fine. Or if you get a cue card related to polite person and you are describing about how intelligent he is or how famous he is, the examiner is not going to cut or detect your marks, because anyhow a polite person is going to be open-minded, or maybe a polite person can be an intelligent person. You are on the topic, you are describing a person, and you can include everything related to rounding about a person. Okay, so it's basically how fluent you are in describing about a person. If you do not answer on the topic, the only area that is going to affect is lexical resources, but still by answering with good lexical resources which are going to be covered in this cue card, in this answer, you can still get 7 plus band because you are fluent, you are grammatically accurate, and you are showing good pronunciation. So work on these three areas mainly to get 7 plus band in your cue cards. Then if you get a cue card related to favorite singer and you think that the line which I'm going to answer in the question, in the cue card that I'm about to show you, talks about an old person, you can omit that line and just talk about the singer part or the description of the singer. Okay, so according to the cue card, you can include or exclude any of the lines that is going to be shown to you in this video. So it's a, don't just blindly mug up the cue card, mug up the answer, but learn the vocabulary, learn the structure, and see how you need to describe in a cohesive manner so that you can answer any cue card related to the person, especially these 11 ones. So let's see one by one how to answer these 11 cue cards. Before we start, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel because this helps us and motivates us to help you in more way. So do subscribe and click on bell icon and share with all, because in this pandemic situation, whoever are not able to go out to their learning centers and learn, they can learn by sitting in their home. So first, how can we start? How can we introduce this cue card or cue cards related to people? So this is how we are going to start our cue cards. There are numerous ways in which you can start your cue card. You can watch our speaking cue card video where I have described or I have mentioned all the lines that can be useful in starting a cue card. So do watch that cue card. I'll share the link in the description box. So first you can start by thanking the examiner, giving up this. This is not mandatory. Okay, these are all a way in which you can start your cue card. I like to start by this. You can use other words also. So thank you for bringing up this interesting cue card. It's not wrong to say that we come across copious people from all walks of life. So here I have given a good phrase, all walks of life. So I am showing my command over the language from the beginning. Your intonation and pronunciation plays a very important role in your IELTS speaking marks. So do not forget to just run. Thank you for bringing up this interesting cue card. It's not wrong to say no, or thank you for bringing up this interesting cue card. It's not wrong to say that. Do not read also. It should not look like you are reading, or it should not look like you are just running behind the train. It should be like you are explaining a child or talking to a stranger in a most effective way to capture his mind. You should just be so intriguing that the examiner cannot take his head off from your story. So narrate it like an interesting story, like Panchatantra stories, which are very quite interesting to listen to. So just talk in that way. So thank you for bringing up this interesting cue card. It's not wrong to say that we come across copious people from all walks of life. They are not only our blood relations but also folks whom we admire, respect and look up to in our humdrum life. So now I have started to include lexical resources. Humdrum life means boring, routine, sedentary lifestyle, day-to-day, everyday lifestyle. Okay, so in our everyday lifestyle, we come across various people, not only our blood relatives, but various strangers, neighbors, and so on. And one more thing I would like to say here, very important, if you need to excel in IELTS, please stop listening to cue cards explanations or listening to IELTS explanation in Hindi or your regional languages. I have seen many YouTube videos and many places where it is described, everything is described in Hindi or Bengali or our regional languages. That's not going to help you. The reason behind this is we all know to describe a street market in our regional language. No need to learn at all. Whenever someone asks me in Hindi, यार तुझे कौन सा पसंद है shop, मैं तो आराम से बोलती हूँ. I'll describe it in very easy way. I like this place because it is that, it is that. I can say in my regional language very easily. That's not the problem. The problem here is that we cannot translate that into English. We are not able to think in English and put those thinking into words in English, and that can be learned only when you start thinking in English and explaining in English. Okay, you can learn the words. Now humdrum life, okay, humdrum life means day to day life, हर रोज की चीज, हर रोज की तकलीफें, हर रोज जो हम काम करते हैं वैसे. Okay, so you can search for the meaning of some difficult lexical resource, meaning of the words you can learn in your English, in your regional language. That's fine, but getting the idea and getting how to answer the cue card in your regional language, how is going to help you? So stop. If you want to excel in IELTS speaking specifically, stop, please stop thinking and explaining everything in Hindi or in your regional language and then translate it into English. Your grammar and your pronunciation is just going to lag a lot behind. That is why I do not focus on our regional languages. More and more start listening to English, start thinking in English, that if I have to describe this market or if I have to describe this book, how can I say it in English? Start with simple language, start with simple sentences and then go for complex one. That's fine, but start in English. Okay, stop watching Hindi explanations, please. Okay, coming back to our cue card. So I have said that I meet many people, and then but today I'm going to talk on specific cue card, so I will say that I will introduce that. But today I would like to talk to you about one benignant person. Benignant persons means uh, altruistic person, very important, happy to go lucky, generous, kind person. Okay, बहुत ही अच्छा human, a very good human person who is kind hearted, generous and open minded. So all the cue cards talking about intelligence, kind hearted, open minded or generous people, all the cue cards that we saw can be answered with this. So you can say this: who holds a special place in my heart for his multifarious characteristics. He is none other than, introduce the person. Okay, he is none other than my husband, blah blah, or he is none other than my father, blah blah. He is none other than my friend, my relative, my neighbor, whomever you are going to talk about. Just introduce the person name and the relation. This is how we are going to introduce our cue card. Now let's move on. Now I have to talk how I know him or how I met. Okay, whenever we get a cue card like describe your favorite singer, how and when you know him or where you met him or how he is, always the question is going to be how you know that person. So you are going to introduce yourself and his meeting place and explain something about him, what you like or what he does. So now basically we'll be answering the cue card, whether he is a famous person or he is a singer or he is an old person or whatever he is, whatever the cue card is, we are going to introduce that cue card here. So I met him during a musical event where he was performing with a voice that was just euphonic. Euphonic means melodious, very pleasing to hear. सुनने के लिए बहुत अच्छा, pleasing to hear. So I met him during a musical event. Now the question was describe your favorite singer. So I am describing. Or if you say describe an old person or describe a famous person, whoever you're going to talk about, you will tell him that you are going to meet him during a musical event. You can substitute this event by any event. Okay, I met him during a family party, I met him during a college party, or on a bus stop, in a train, anywhere. Okay, whatever you, so you have to adjust these few things according to your knowledge or your idea. So it's not must that you met him during musical event, but to answer to the cue card of famous person and a musical person, and encouraged someone, I have introduced this musical event. It looked apt. Okay, so I have included it. So I met him during a musical event and he was just euphonic. My eye caught him or her due to his or her out of the box dressing. Now the question was about cue card unusual clothing. So for that cue card I have included this. Even if it is not there, I can just explain why I met him, why I was attracted to the person, because of his out of the box dressing, his unusual dressing. Okay, so synonyms is very important. That is why I have not written unusual clothes. I have written out of the box dressing. Him and her, do not say him and her in your answers. Okay, don't mug up your answers. If it was a boy, say him. If it was a girl, say her. So I don't know what you want to say, so that is why I have included. So I can say my eye caught him due to his out of the box dressing, as in such a hot weather he was wearing extortionate fur coat. Okay, so it was very hot, but still he was wearing a very extortionate means very expensive, too costly fur coat. You can tell your own idea and situation when and where you met and why your eye caught his, okay, him. Okay, so why you were attracted toward him, why you looked at him, why you just took a glimpse of that person. So whatever the reason is, the place, the reason for you being attracted toward that person, you can talk about here. I'm talking this so that I can include 2 3 cue cards related to the famous personality or his unusual clothing or a person you think you know, or a famous singer. So to answer those 4 cue cards, I have included such lines. You can change according to the cue card. Then, though his apparel sense blew my head off. Okay, this is the phrasal language. I am not a big fan of idioms. I feel very difficult to put idioms, so I compensate that with my phrasal language knowledge. If you are good at idioms and you can fit anything, any idiom related to the situation, it's well and good, you can include those idioms. But as I am not much aware of idioms, I am including phrasal verbs. So it's absolutely fine if you do not know idioms, go for phrasal language. It will serve the same purpose as I am the example of getting 9 without using idioms. So you can use the phrasal language, but idiomatic language is essential. So try to include if it is possible. So though his apparel sense blew my head off, that means I was totally blown by his way of clothing, I couldn't keep myself away from his melodies. Though his dressing sense was quite unusual, his melody was mind-blogging, and that's why I was attracted toward him. What pulled me towards him? So why I was attracted? His age and quick-witted personality. Okay, so what was more attractive about him was his age. Okay, his age. Now intelligent person or a old person. To answer that old person, I have included age. If it's just intelligent, famous, or open-minded, or polite person, you can just remove that age. Okay, you can just remove this, and you can say what pulled me towards him was his quick-witted personality. Okay, so quick-witted means generous, intelligent person. Okay, intelligent and polite person who understands the situation and tries to do not shows anger. Okay, he does not show anger. With calm mind, he listens to everything and then he does his actions. So for all these characteristics, we say quick-witted personality, intelligent or calm personality. So if the cue card is related to famous person, intelligent person, open-minded and polite person, you can use this line. What pulled me towards him was his quick-witted personality. Now I am answering the cue card old person. That is why I have included this age. It's not that being in 50s is too old, but the energy and enthusiasm along with his down-to-earth behavior in spite of being famous showed how indulgent and bountiful he was. So here I am including two cue cards, that is the age and then the famous personality, down to earth. Okay, it is down to earth behavior. He was famous because he is a singer, he is a famous person, but still his politeness, down to earth means kind and polite. Okay, easy person. And famous person, polite person, open-minded person, everything has been covered here. In spite of being famous, showed how indulgent and bountiful he was. That means I'm describing about his characteristics. So whenever the cue card talks about some character, intelligent, polite, kind-hearted, open-minded, rude, all these question type, you can use these words. Okay, and you can use this line. So now I have described where and when I met and what was his personality, and I also included the cue cards main points, that whether he's old, he's famous, he's a singer, he's polite, intelligent, and all those cue cards have been covered here. So whichever cue card you get, you can focus more on it and remove the ones that you do not think is relating them. So it's not that you have to memorize each line, but use them wisely according to the cue card. So omit or change the words one or two. Now I will be explaining more about his characters, because if he is a polite person, how? If he is a famous person, how? Or other cue cards. Now I'm going to cover other cue cards that are related to being, advice to a person or a old friend you got contact with. So all these questions I'm trying to include here in this paragraph. After the function, my friend introduced me to him, and it was like we were decade lost friends. So talk about a friend that you met after a long time. So it's not necessarily that he has to be my friend, because there is no task achievement. I'm just making up a story and relating it to that cue card. So after the function, my friend introduced me to him, and it was like we were decade lost friends. While chatting, we came to know that we lived in the same neighborhood for 3 years. Okay, so I lived with him in the same neighborhood 3 years back. So now he is my lost friend. Neighbor, he was a neighbor, so he may be my friend. And that is why I am covering the cue card, lost friend. I was astonished to know that I knew such open-minded and talented singer. So I have covered two more cue cards here. Talk a person who is open-minded and talk about a singer. So I have covered that. So I was astonished that I know such a great singer and open-minded person. After having a cup of coffee with him, I was convinced that his maturity doesn't come alone from being elder or experienced, but also because of his calmness and ability to understand the situation before taking any hasty decision, unlike me. So here again I am covering four cue cards if you see, okay, about his calmness, that is politeness, and then experience, okay, experienced person or being elder, and open-minded also. Okay, so I have covered four cue cards here with good lexical resources and phrasal language. I was surprised when he asked me for an advice regarding best holiday destination. Now I am trying to cover a time when you advised someone, so I am including that cue card here. I was surprised. So I was surprised why such a famous person is asking me for an advice. But I have to include that cue card, so I have written because there is no task achievement. It's fine. I was surprised when he asked me for an advice regarding best holiday destination. I was enthralled at this and suggested him to visit paradise on earth, and that is nothing but Kashmir. So enthralled, I was very happy. I was excited at this that he is asking me, and then I advised him. I suggested him. So advice, I have used synonyms. Suggested him to visit Kashmir. Then there was a cue card related when a cue card that said when you encouraged someone. So I have included that also. I also encouraged him to visit it during winter as the view is breathtaking during that season. Okay, so do not read show whenever you have to force, when you have to uh, put emphasis on some word, you emphasize on it. When you want to go low. When you want to say high, go high. So show variation, fluctuation in your voice to be more captivating. So I also encouraged him to visit it during winter as the view is breathtaking during that season. So I am emphasizing that it is breathtaking. So almost all the cue cards are covered by now. I have explained his characteristic, my connection with him, and there is a cohesion. I'm not just including anything randomly, but line by line. First I met him, then I was introduced to him with my friends, then I came to know that I was living with him, and that is how I answered that I met a lost friend. Then after having a cup of coffee, I came to know about his characteristic more, and then I explained about his characters, and then I told that he talked to me about, he asked me for an advice, and then I encouraged him. So everything is systematically going. Okay, that is very important. That is your fluency and cohesion. Cohesion is going, moving forward in your answer in a proper systematic way. It is not that after first step you can go to third step just like that. No, you have to go one by one, first, second, third, fourth. So there should be a relation between your previous and your current and your next statements. So that is also important, and that is how our answer has been constructed. You can see there is a progression. I am moving forward, not rotating in one place, but moving ahead in my answer. That first this happened, then I went for a coffee. It is not that I first had a cup of coffee with him and that my friend introduced me to him. That is no relation between the two statements. So you have to go in a proper cohesive way. After after almost covering all the cue cards with good lexical resources, phrasal language and cohesion, good pronunciation, and your intonation also, now I'm going to conclude my answer. A simple conclusion will do, because already you will be stopped by now. You may have been stopped by the examiner, so it's fine. If you're not stopped, you can give a conclusion in a good way to show that you have covered everything and you're done with it. So I also lent a hand in booking the hotel for him during his stay in city, as his popularity wasn't allowing him peaceful place to reside. So here I am covering the cue card, a time when you helped someone. So this is how I helped him. How I helped him, because he is famous person and no one, there is no privacy for him. I booked a hotel room for him where he can have some private time or something like that. So I also lent a hand in booking the hotel for him during his stay in my city, as his popularity wasn't allowing him peaceful place to reside. All in all, I am concluding all the cue cards I have almost answered and they are related to each other. So my answer is cohesive, well answered. All in all, it was a memorable day to spend time with a banging, notable and unprejudiced person. So now I have included all the three times, which includes that the person was intelligent, open-minded, kind-hearted, generous, and unbiased. Okay, this all shows his greatness. That is his maturity. If an old person is there, he will have all this. Okay, a famous person will may also have all this, and if he is your friend will also have all this. So I am describing his characteristic in three words, which covers almost all good characters. If it is bad, if he was bad, you can also include bad, you can change it into a bad characteristic. It depends on the cue card, but here I did not find cue card related to bad things, but all the cue cards were about positive, so I talk about positivity. So all these words talk about his good personality. So all in all, you can see our answer had good lexical resources, idiomatic language, that is phrasal language. It has good pronunciation. If you pronounce well, you have to learn that. Cohesion and fluency, of course, as and when you move in a cohesive way, your fluency means you know what you're talking about. You're not just doing, I also lend a hand in booking the hotel for him during his stay in the city. No, you're just moving ahead. I also lent a hand in booking the hotel for him during his stay in my city, as his popularity wasn't allowing him peaceful place to reside. Okay, so the process will help you to avoid that if you want to learn how to stop that process and now you can watch our other videos where I have explained how you can learn to stop these ums and ahs. So this is how we answered 11 cue cards with one answer which had all the four marking criteria if you use them wisely and your pronunciation and your fluency is well acquired. For more cue card answers, visit to our channel or subscribe to our website ieltswinners.net and our other social media platforms where we keep updating latest ideas, topics, vocabularies for you to excel your IELTS just like me with Band 9. Hope this cue card will help you to prepare yourself in the best way. Keep learning and keep sharing our videos with more and more people to help everyone excel in their IELTS. All the best. Keep safe, stay and stay healthy. Bye bye.